Wow. Hey, everyone. Lovely to see you. We're 8 weeks in, which is really exciting. And you've been showing up, taking action and building momentum, but now it's time to take a look at what you've been building. So you've got to pause, reflect, and make sure your efforts are actually getting you where you want to go. Because we've all got a dream about where we want our business to be, kind of by the end of 2025. So yeah, let's have a go today, learning more about that. Hello, everyone. Hi, Pam, and hi, Lisa. Lovely to have you guys in the Zoom room with us. And yeah, hopefully as many mums as possible are going to make it today. So we're 8 weeks down the track of building a brand in 1 year in only 3 hours a week. And to be fair to say, it's been pretty hectic. For me personally, I don't know if I've been able to keep up with all of the tasks. I've done a pretty good job. I'm pretty proud of what I've been doing. But I know, for myself and all the mums committed to this space, showing up and keeping on rising, even if something is challenging, is massive, and we have to celebrate that. So yeah, we're going to take small steps together, and we're going to get to where we want to go, and we're going to have to take some time to review what we've achieved today. But before I keep going, by the end of this call, I want you to try and stay for as long as you can, because I've got a very special guest who's going to share with us. And I want you to stick around and hear all about how you can test a business idea and get a free goodie as well. So please stick around if you're watching on a recording, or if you are here live with us. Stick around to the end and you're going to get something really special today. Well, welcome to Mum with a Side Hustle. It's our live weekly call here in our Facebook group. It's possible we might be moving our weekly call to YouTube because Facebook have made some changes. Got to stay up with all the changes, mums. But if you're here, drop a comment and say hi, especially if you're live on Facebook right now, because all I can see is the mums in the Zoom room. Your input and your sharing and your comments is really valuable to me and to us as a community. We can really learn about what your challenges are and what you want help with and what you want to learn about. So please do drop a comment and let us know that you are here. And of course, it's always helpful on YouTube if you do subscribe. So today we're going to take some time to review the steps that make up building a brand in only 3 hours a week. And we need to ask ourselves some tough questions because we need to gauge our progress. And we need to know, like, what we're doing working? What do we need to adjust or change? And will consistency build the brand of what we're doing? Like the consistent actions, will it actually build to where we want to be by the end of the year? At the end of 2025, each of the mums we've got sort of a mum tribe. Some of them are on the Zoom room today. We've got five amazing mums. We've all got dreams, and we keep trying to talk about them and refine them. Like, where do we want our business to be by the end of 2025? And so we need to know, is what I've spent the last 8 weeks doing, is that actually moving me closer towards my goal? Or do I need to make a few tweaks here and there? So I've got some really great tips for how to figure that out. I've been diving into the world of understanding metrics and analyzing them. And I've had a little bit of help from my AI tool as well, just like help understanding, like, what am I reading here? What does this actually mean? But I do want to take a second to introduce you to the amazing mums in the Zoom room. So we've got, do you guys want to unmute and just say hi? You don't have to talk heaps or anything, but it'd be cool to hear your voices.
Hi.
We've got Lisa, we've got Pam, we've got Rita, and then we've got two
Hello.
other amazing mums. Rita's got her signature lipstick on. Give us a smile, Rita. Oh, beautiful. And how long have you been wearing that lipstick today? Did you put it on just before this call?
Before I ate lunch.
And what's the name of this one?
This one is Aussie Rose.
Aussie Rose. Can you give us like a little bit of a close up? I want to be able to see what that color is. It's like a not really a raspberry.
No,
Aussie
it's
Rose.
a mid pink.
A mid pink.
Sparkly. Yeah, I think that's how I think of it anyway.
How many colors do you have, Rita?
Um, that I wear relatively often, probably in the region of 10.
Nice. I love it. I can see why you're passionate about your business. I own one lipstick. And the sad thing is my sister-in-law gave it to me like 2 birthdays ago, so it's very old. It's very old. Okay, so here's the mums. They've been showing, sorry, team. They've been showing up, authentically online. They've been building networks. They've been helping others rise, and they've been dreaming about a business that they want. So, yeah. So let's chat about review. And I'm going to have Lisa assist me today. I'm going to pull up a spreadsheet that I've been working on. And we're going to go through all of the tasks and see how Lisa's been doing. But Lisa, if you don't mind unmuting while I bring up the spreadsheet and maybe tell us again what your business is, how long you've had it, what you love about it. Just give us a little review. Tell us who you are, where you live.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I am married to a wonderful man. We live in Tipahui, which is between Napier and Taupo, on 45 acres of land with our 4 children. And so I have a nut butter business, which is all done on the farm. We have a small factory where everything is roasted and milled and jarred and then sent off from here. So yeah, I just it started with a desire to, as a homeschooling mum, to have something for myself, because all my energy is well, most of my energy is poured into my children. So this is something that we can do, not only me, but as a whole family, can be involved in different areas of the business. And I'm pretty passionate about food and what goes into my children's bodies, and nut butter is something that's wholesome and delicious, nutritious, and can be used in all sorts of ways, super versatile. So we just love using it. And we love
I
being able to for other families as well.
I loved the video you did the other day I didn't realize you guys had such an extensive garden.
Vegetable garden.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I love the part. So Lisa did a reel about and this was after actually. So what people I'll give them a slight insight. So on every few Monday nights, us mum tribe get together and talk about our progress. And Lisa, you had no idea on Monday night what you were going to do for your reel on Tuesday, which is your goal, 2 reels a week. But the one you brought out was beautiful. I loved it. I loved seeing your garden, and I loved seeing one of your sons cook. And yeah, it was a nice insight into what goes on behind the scenes. It's a good time of year for the garden, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good. And it was purely motivation from you, Leash, to say, before you go to bed tonight, I know it's 8:30, quarter to 9, but you need to get onto this. You need to spend some time on your business. And that's exactly what I did. So thank you for the
That's
motivation.
that's the best thing about being part of a tribe though, is like that you get someone who's going to call you up rather than just being by yourself and like wishing the best, and like having that other voice to encourage you is always, yeah, I find it really valuable. Cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's jump into the checklist. So I've shared that on the screen. I hope everyone can see it. I'm just going to take 1 second, see if anyone's commenting on Facebook. No, we're good. Okay. Um, so here's the checklist. Oh, you can see when I switch like that. Guys, this is the back office of Facebook. Look at that. If you want to do a weekly live Zoom call, you'll have to get used to a page like this. Okay, here we go. Here's our 8-week checklist. So week 1, our first month was establishing foundations and clarifying our brand. Lisa, you can actually pinch and make it bigger if you're on your phone and you're having trouble reading that. So I'm just going to go through the list with Lisa, and she's going to tell us where she's up to. So Lisa, there's sort of 3 options. It's an interactive spreadsheet, which I've given the Mum Tribe. They can choose for each of the areas, they can choose not done, completed, or needs adjustment. Okay, so I'm going to fill this one out for you, Lisa, while we chat. So week 1 was define your brand identity. Do you feel like you've clarified your mission and purpose?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think you kind of had that already, or did you work on that?
No, I definitely needed to work on it. It was just all in my head. It wasn't on paper. So, yeah.
Okay, Cool. What about defined your niche and your target audience?
Yes.
Cool. So these are completed or need adjustment?
All right, completed.
Cool. Developed my unique value proposition.
Yes.
Cool. And for those who don't know what that is, that's what sets you apart from others, especially others who are in the same business as you. So what's unique about you? What's something that you do that's different from other people who do the same thing as you? And then establish 3 to 5 core brand values.
Yes.
Do you want to share any of them with us quickly?
Yep, I won't explain them, but mine are connection, integrity, kindness, collaboration, and reliability.
Oh, I think someone's filled in our sheet. If I shared this with you, team, you need to download it and save it yourself because I can see some of these answers are different. Okay, week 2, build your brand assets. So this is your visual identity. So you've got a logo, Lisa, that was already sorted.
Yes.
You've got your brand colors and fonts, and
Yes.
so that one's completed. And updated profile picture and bio.
Yes.
Did you need to do that or it's completed?
It's done on some, like on the website, but I need to pin something onto Instagram. So,
Okay,
yeah.
cool, awesome. So we'll just add needs adjustment, and the note is pin a post on Instagram. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Isn't that wonderful when you can add a note there? Okay, and you went down the route because you started the business last year or the year before. How long have you been doing your business?
Really only this, well, it was a business before that, but really only started selling at the start of last year.
Cool. And you went down the route of employing a designer and she helped you set all of these things up, eh? And your
Yes.
product looks amazing. You know, I mean, if you can get one of your kids to bring you a jar of nut butter right now, it's beautiful. It's honestly beautiful. It reflects you. I think, yeah, your designer really captured your essence and makes I think makes your product stand out online and in person. So it's definitely worth the investment. But if you don't have the money to invest in that, guys, Canva, the free version, you can do a lot in there. Just get started. And as you move along in your business, there are options for developing it further and making adjustments and changes. So don't get stuck there. So either outsource or be imperfect until you can be better. But yeah, don't get stuck. Okay, week 3 was build your brand assets visual identity. I think that title's a little bit wrong there, but you wrote a personal or about me page. Did you do that, Lisa?
I have.
Cool. And then is that what you're going to pin to your Instagram or?
Yeah, I have done one on the website, but even, I was actually on my website last night and I was like, oh, even though I've done it, I'm like, I think this could be tweaked to be a little bit better. So let's say, yeah, just a bit of tweaking. That even though it was done, I think I could make it better.
Would like to make some tweaks on website. Awesome. Cool. And then created first value-driven content piece. How did you go with that one? So that was taking your brand values and putting them into some sort of piece of work.
Yep. On Instagram, I think I have done that. Yep.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Okay. The next one is week 4 was set up social media and posting schedule. So obviously you'd chosen your primary social media platform that was Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes.
Cool. And then I don't know, I can't remember what optimized profiles was. I think that was like getting them all the same across the different platforms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so complete. Is that since you're only using one?
No, I am using Facebook as well.
Oh, you're on Facebook. So is there a nut butter page on Facebook?
Yes, there is. Yep.
I don't think I followed that, Lisa. Hold the
Okay.
horses. We need to find that right now while we're alive. So Tefano nut butter, is that what we do?
Yes.
If you're watching this live and you are not from New Zealand, oh no, I am following it. Look, there it is. Tefano means the family, right?
Yes.
Cool. So if you're not from New Zealand, that may have been a little mystery to you. Here it is solved, the family nut butter, which I love, and your image really shows that. Okay, so back to our checklist. Okay, the next one is created a posting schedule.
Yes, I have done that.
Cool. What is your posting schedule?
So my posting schedule is aiming for stories every day, just of our life, which includes our pillars. Not sure if I've covered pillars yet, but and at least 2 reels a week. And I've got 2 days where I like to post them on and by what time I need to have them on by.
Oh, what time do you have to have them up by?
I'm trying for 7 a.m.
So how did you go on Tuesday? Did you make it to 7 a.m.?
Did I post? I'm pretty sure I've achieved it this week. Yeah.
Wow. So after our call on Monday night, you made the reel that you put out the next day and that was the one of you guys all on your property with all the food. Was that the one that you did this week? I'm
Oh
just thinking
gosh.
that's pretty impressive because you have all of that content ready to go and you created
It was
it.
the one of her son. Her son was out collecting vegetables to
Yeah,
cook.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought it was.
no, that was only a story. That wasn't a.
Was that
Oh,
not your post? Oh dear, how embarrassing. Okay, I'll have to go look.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
and I'll
that
have to
was
make.
impacting. I loved it. That was the one I was saying I really loved. Okay, cool. So you've got a posting schedule. We'll keep moving along because there's so much here. Okay, so then we jumped into month 2. So this was focused more on content creation and engagement. So week 1 of month 2 was created 1 to 2 content pieces. So that's a yes because you've been sticking to your content schedule, right?
Yes.
And then what would you say around planning content for the next week?
Yeah, I would say that I have got a plan, but my plan probably needs work. Like the plan is to do it the night before, but we were talking about it within our group that if I could set aside an hour in the week or something and then try and plan all the content and have it ready. So it's not just something that happens at the spur of the moment in the evening.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. And then week 2, we started engaging with our audience and our network. So how did you go responding to comments and messages from people?
Yeah, I tried to make sure that I responded to every message, and then also, are we ticking that one? Following. Oh, sorry, that's
completed. Yeah, we've got completed there. Cool. And then the next one is reached out to collaborators and mentors.
Yes, yeah, I had to do that because I was the number of people, groups, companies that I was following was just so low.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you shared something with me, actually. It was another mum in business who was, you tagged me in it. She was giving away $6,000. And I know you were tagging me in it and sharing it with me for me, but I also saw that as like engaging and sharing someone else's content. So to me, that kind of comes in with this whole thing as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and her profile is really cool. I really enjoyed that. So then it leads into followed and engaged with relevant accounts.
Yes, I try to do that. I think, I don't know if it was you or someone else in the group saying before and after you post, if you can try and really be active on Instagram or whatever your platform is, it helps the algorithm.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. And I think it's okay to say these are completed, even though it's something we're going to continue doing. But I think, like that you've taken that action and got started is really awesome. Okay. And then week 3, which is last week, we talked about diversifying content and promoting your brand. So it wasn't, I'm just going to change this little one here. We talked about creating a valuable lead magnet, which we'll come to in a second. But did you do any like behind the scenes or personal insight posts?
Yes,
Yeah.
did the behind the scenes. Yeah.
You'd already kind of done that actually. I think you've done a good job of that. And what about creating a valuable lead magnet? Where are you up to on that one?
So yeah, I've read through the info that was sent to me by you, and I just think it needs a bit of time to sit down and work through what really connects and resonates with me in the business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So definitely, I wouldn't say that I'd started.
Yeah, okay, cool. And we'll leave it on not started. And again, like if people are listening and they are not or they're not sure what a valuable lead magnet is, you're welcome to jump back to last week 7 video where we discussed. So you want to create, we talked about how social media owns your followers. And if they change the rules, you can actually lose connection with your followers, or your visibility can change on their pages. And so it's really important that you build an email list. And so we talked about the first step of doing that, which is we're just creating some sort of valuable lead magnet. And actually our special guest that's coming up soon is going to share with you something that she's done as a valuable lead magnet. But yeah, we talked about this, and I'm personally still on it. I've created a few little things. They haven't got a lot of interaction yet. Some of them have, like I've got, okay, I'll be honest with you, I've probably got 15, 20 people on my email list. Yay me. But we've all got to start somewhere, right? So yeah, I've started with a few lead magnets, but I definitely want to create something really beautiful, really valuable. It's got to be valuable for people to want it. And then Lisa, you probably haven't done these ones because it's today. But today we're going to be working on reviewing engagement metrics, adjusting our content strategy, and setting goals. So we're just going to zoom over all of that stuff. But did you want to share anything else about like this journey, the things we've talked about just now, before we jump back into a bit more information about looking at our metrics today?
Just quickly, I just think jumping into, creating a business from scratch was definitely a lot harder than I ever imagined it would be. But I think because I've started this journey with you, Leisha, and with this other group of mums, I can see the value of having a framework and building from the ground upwards, rather than it was all in my head and I knew what I wanted, but I was jumping here and there, and then I'd realize, oh dear, I really need to backtrack about 3 steps. So this framework has just been so valuable. So,
and I've loved seeing how you've had so many pieces, but how this is kind of either layered or threaded them together. Like it's brought a more of a whole picture for your whole business, rather than, yeah, like you say, like you had a great vision and you brought a lot of valuable things together. And I think your brand and your personal belief in it, and your personal belief in the kind of food you want to feed your family, has driven your brand forward. But yeah, I can definitely see how getting a framework's been really helpful for you. Yeah.
absolutely.
So definitely follow Lisa on Facebook and on Instagram. What's your handle on Instagram, Lisa? At Tefano Nut Butter or something? What would that be?
Yep. Butter. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Lisa. I guess that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I was a bit worried that you'd feel a bit vulnerable and exposed there, but you did fantastic. I think it is a reflection of how much work you've really been putting in. And sometimes it can be hard to see that for yourself. Okay, cool. So this is step 1. What Lisa and I have just done is going back through all of the videos and having, like, writing down a checklist so that you know that you've covered everything. And I think that this could become a challenge if people are interested in that, like an 8-week build a brand challenge. I don't think I'm going to run it for a whole year over and over again. But the first 8 weeks are really, really key, and we've learned so much together, and I'm still learning so much. So you could ask yourself, like, what steps have I accomplished? Are there any unfinished tasks that need attention? Were there any areas where you felt stuck or you struggled to follow through on? And I think that that's probably been the pathway for everyone. Is there anything that I'm stuck on? I think if I'm personally stuck on anything right now, it is finding creative space to make reels and videos. I would like to do that, but because my strategy has been more posts, I've funneled my energy there. But I know in practice, so this is the power of consistency. So because I've been building a habit consistently to post, it becomes easier over time. And of course, like, your personal life, what's going on in your personal life, and we've got some busy stuff happening outside of building a brand, that's taken some energy and time to keep doing. So yeah, my next thing that I want to do is I want to work more on reels. So I'm going to definitely be pushing into that. If I was just to answer, like, are there any areas where you feel stuck or struggle to follow through, that would be for me. And I tried to do, we talked about doing like behind the scenes posts last week and giving people insight into what your process is. So I had a few goes taking photos of myself at the computer. And all you could see is the back of my head. I was like, oh, she's got a very pretty mop of blonde hair. That was like, you could see pretty much my head and a little bit of the computer. So that's how that went. And I thought, no, it's not going to work right now. So I abandoned it and moved on to something I could be productive in. Okay, so number one, we're going to complete a progress checklist. Number two, we want to review engagement metrics. And I'm going to actually open up and share my engagement metrics with you today. And actually, this is the first time that I've even looked into it. So this is how much of a rookie I am, guys. I've barely ever looked at my own metrics. And I've got nothing to compare it to except for my own personal curiosity. You know, I'm genuinely curious, grateful for the people who've followed. I'm grateful for the people who've interacted with the content I've been creating. Yeah, and so I'm going to share, I'm actually just going to screen share again with you, and we're going to look at my analytics together. So let me bring up the Zoom. Oh, I thought I lost it for a second there, freaking me out. And here we go. So we'll just start here. This is my Facebook page analytics. Oh, it's not showing me the right thing. How do I choose what screen? I want to choose a different screen. Oh, here we go. This one. There we go. Aha. Okay, sorry for on a phone. You're going to have to zoom in on this. I can zoom in a little bit. Cool. So I thought this was probably the best thing to share from Facebook is which of my posts are getting the biggest views and reach, and then interactions. So at the moment, you can see along the top here, we've got sort by views. So I've sorted it by views. You can sort by reach and interactions. And actually, let me just show you. You do have to have a professional dashboard, a professional page on Facebook to do this, but let me show you how to do it so that everyone is clear. Oh, you're going to see my script in a second. My notes for our call. Okay, so let's go to my personal Facebook page. Go here. And you just go into professional dashboard. See there, there's that bright blue button. So if you are using your personal Facebook page as a lead, you know, like for people to come and look at, you go there and then you go to content, which is here on the left. And I think this is how I found it. Maybe I found it under audience. No, content. I think this was here, and I went to 28 days. Okay, well, it's somewhere in here, guys. Okay, you can come back and have a look at it, but I did pull up a screenshot, so I will go back to that because we can talk more about that. So here's my screenshot of what I pulled out of my Facebook analytics. So the post that actually got the most views and a very large reach and a very large number of interactions was actually a post I did very late on Saturday night because I refused to go to bed without achieving my goal. It was actually Friday night, but it came up on Saturday for their time. So I wrote, I love what these two have. What are your best tips for setting kids up for a lifelong sibling friendship? I put up 3 photos of my kids, and this is what happened. So one thing I'm learning is asking people for advice is a really great way to get their interaction. I'm going to sneeze. Oh my goodness. Okay. The next post that actually had really great interaction was this one here. This was a post that I did about I was inspired by a quote from Bear Grylls. So he was just sharing that he used to feel really uncomfortable about filming, but he realized he sort of set some boundaries for himself. So what was happening was he had a producer who was asking him to redo scene after scene after scene. And if you're familiar with Bear Grylls, he's like a huge adventurer, and he is doing all sorts of different stuff. And I can imagine he says in his book, he felt like the joy was leaving what he was doing because he was being asked to like pose again and say things again and all that sort of stuff. And he really wanted to show up real and raw. So he just, in the end, he said, I'm cutting it. I'm not going to do things over and over again. If you don't get it, then you've not captured it. And apparently what they ended up doing was adding 4 cameras so that there was 4 different people filming so things weren't missed. And I think I loved that because I love that he knew what would keep him inspired and what would keep him sharing content that he wanted to show up and do. Not that I'm going to ask for 4 cameras to follow me around, but I think one thing I've been learning in life is that I love how you said this a second ago too, Lisa, like, you know, you've got all those ideas for how to create a valuable lead magnet, but you want to sit with them and find one that really resonates. And that's kind of what I think Bear Grylls is saying as well, is I don't want to just do what everyone says I should do, because if I do that, it's going to be, eventually it won't be me and it'll be boring. And that for me is the joy of creating a brand, is really digging into your own heart and personality and like, who am I? What have I got to offer? So anyway, I wrote a post about Bear Grylls. I wrote a post about how sometimes I realize that everyone's watching me and they don't all like me. And I had incredible interactions on that post. I had people messaging me. I had people telling me when I saw them that they'd read it. So that was really encouraging. And then stories about Mum with a Side Hustle or where it came from seem to be going really well. So that's the third one there with third highest views. I'm just going to go to kind of number 4 and 5. This one here is really interesting. So I put a little picture of myself with a question: what's something hard you've overcome that made you stronger? And I only got 9 interactions, but it was very, very high in the views. So that really interests me. I don't know what to really read into that. I don't know if it was the visual of me with the question. I normally put my question on Facebook. On Facebook, you can just type up a small number of words and it will just show up on a colored background, or you can choose one of their backgrounds. And that's what I normally like to do for an interactive post. But yeah, that one seems to have a lot of views and large reach. So I need to figure out what I did right. And we'll just go down to the next one. The next one is just, what's one thing your kids do that melts your heart? So yeah, possibly from what I'm learning here is that I might want to lean into questions about your kids. People love to share about their kids. And of course, I am mum with a side hustle. So I'm mum and I'm side hustle. I'm both of those things. So yeah, it's a great way to get interaction. And I think the theory is that you can use an interactive post to gather people to you. And then if you have something that you want to offer, use that post soon afterwards, and it's more likely to pop up on their feed. So interaction is really important. Okay, that is my Facebook. But what I wanted to show you, oh, sorry, screen share closed. I wanted to show you Instagram. I took some images. Please hold the line, callers. I will share my screen again. I took some images from Instagram. I also looked into Facebook, but I didn't have time to take photos of my mum with a side hustle metrics. So where's my sharing button? Okay. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Okay, here we go. So I've got a few different images from the Instagram to share with you. So this one here is, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So this one is posts in the last 30 days that have had the most views. So you can see again that one of me, the black and white one with a question, had a really high number of views. It had a few, I don't know if it had any interactions on Instagram. The one that I did, the next one is the one that I was sharing with you before, the Bear Grylls post. The one after that is just like I just shared some pictures of my daughter. It was a very unintentional, I just wanted to share some photos of my daughter, which I love doing, sharing pictures of my kids. The one after that is another one with my kids. This one here, they're all with my kids, so quite a high number of interactions. This one here was the sibling one. This one was here was talking about the mum tribe and like where Mum the Side Hustle came from, what it's doing. And then this one here was talking about being visible. And I only did that one this week, so it's done quite well. So I hope that's showing that they're building over time. I'm going to go to the next image. I hope this isn't too boring for everyone. Leave a comment if I went on about this for too long. So these are the stories that came up. Funny, I cracked up at this one. The story that had the highest views was me at a bachelorette party. So obviously I need to have more fun and put it on my stories because everyone loves it. The next one is, I don't even know what that is, me walking down the road. Oh, it's a sunrise or a sunset or something. And then there's one with me and Zeph on a date, one with my cat that passed away, me doing some cooking, and then a little one about my daughter finally riding a trike. There's another one with my daughter. So my beautiful girl's getting a whole lot of views there. I'll be honest, it's quite nice to have cute kids. Okay, this one here is interesting. So this one is content and it's accounts that engaged. So this is on Instagram, people who've actually commented or done something with it. I want to work more on creating posts that people want to share or save because I know that that's really valuable. So the top one is one where I went to the zoo with my son a year ago. I just felt like I wanted to make him a little video for us to watch, and then I shared it. There's the post about my daughter, and look, there it is again, the post about what's something hard you've overcome that made you stronger. So I don't know what to do with that information. If anyone has insight about why that post did so well, you can share it with me. This is a mixture here of reels, stories, and posts. Okay, so I won't spend too much more time on that. I think that's all the ones. Yep, that's all the ones I wanted to share with you. Yeah, so that is my analytics, my metrics, and I hope that kind of gives you some insight maybe of how you could go and have a look at yours. And in a second, I'm going to share with you some insights. So what I did I only had time before the call to take my Facebook metrics and put them into ChatGPT because I wanted it to give me an analysis. And why waste all my time trying to figure out with my own brain? I'm going to use the power of the internet to gather some more information. So these are some questions you can ask yourself. Which posts, stories, or reels got the most engagement? You can see from what I just shared with you how you could do that. If you're having trouble figuring out how to find your metrics, just ask ChatGPT or Google it, YouTube it. There'll be someone who's made a really cool video about that. What you want to be asking yourself is what types of content resonate most with your audience. So is it personal stories? Is it educational content? Is it motivational posts? I think for me, I'm guessing it's personal stories and motivational posts, and quite strongly personal stories that involve like bravery and courage and rising up and being seen, and which is cool because that's the whole brand that I'm trying to create. And what times a day did your post perform well? I haven't figured that out yet, but that's a good question for yourself. And where did engagement feel low or stagnant? And like I said, that black and white post with the question I thought had tanked, but there's been a lot of views. So how do I take the views and make it engagement? So here's some key performance metrics. I had 21,000 views on my Facebook. My reach was just over 3,000. That's the number of unique accounts who saw my content. Now this one, crazy, the amount of watch time I had was 11 hours and 15 minutes. I had a total of 510 interactions. So that's reactions, comments, and shares. And link clicks was 20. So the most engaging posts, this is what ChatGPT reckons, the most engaging posts were personal stories and questions, reinforcing the storytelling and conversation starter posts. reinforcing that storytelling and conversation starter posts work well for my audience. So that's good information. And then it gave me some actionable insights. So maybe I need to double down on personal and reflective content. There's more detail here, but I don't want to go on about it too long. Another one is encourage more interaction. So asking a direct call to action question or engaging with comments actively, which I have been starting to do, using polls, stickers, and interactive formats, and optimize for more clicks. So like have really clear call to action. So tap the link for comments, testing different thumbnail images for videos, and offering free resources in exchange for clicks. So that's kind of my next steps. See how powerful that can be? Like if you just grab all of your information and you give it to an AI tool, it can actually give you some really great information about what you're doing. And that's going to be positive. Okay, so from there, you're going to refine your content strategy. So you're going to ask yourself some more questions. So do you need to post more or less often? Should you experiment with different content formats? And are there certain topics that get better responses than others? So it's time to start really keeping track. And maybe this is like a once a month thing. Maybe you need to diary it. Once a month, I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking at this. If you've noticed a low engagement on certain posts, you can ask yourself, did the post align with my audience's needs? Or could I change the caption or call to action to invite more interaction? And we chatted on Monday night in our Mum Tribe call about how you can actually reuse posts. So you don't have to feel like you need to, once you've done it, it's completely gone. You can take a post, change it up, put a different image with it and try it again. And that could be a really cool strategy to see if you get some more interaction. I think this is one of the things I love about discovering the world of business is that it's not all fixed. It's like you get to try things out and test them and figure out what works and what doesn't. It makes it a really cool puzzle to solve. Which I don't know resonates with me. I love solving people puzzles. I'm a counselor, that's my training, my profession. I love talking with people. I don't feel like I'm trying to solve their problems, but I feel like talking with them and helping them share their story and talk about their life and how they think about themselves becomes a invitation to me to what question would really help them uncover what they can't see about themselves right now. And so getting like in all my training, that's what I loved the most was we would sit in class. Most of our classes were practical and we would ask questions and we would have our lecturer with us and they would stop us and say, what if you asked it this way? And that was like such an amazing thing. So now I'm just transferring those skills of curiosity to the business world and learning like what's going to work in that space. Okay, take a deep breath, everyone. You're doing great. We're going to make it. So you've got all this information. Now you want to plan next month's goals and priorities. Okay, so what do you want to focus on next? If you're like me, I just need to slow down and focus on just one or two things. Okay, so what do you want to focus on next? Is it going to be increasing engagement, growing followers, refining your message, launching something new? If you feel like you haven't nailed consistency, then you need to go back to that. If you feel like you haven't nailed like that checklist, you need to go back to that. And then you'll get to this week eventually. So what actions will move the needle toward your bigger vision? And do you need to batch create content, collaborate with others, or invest in learning something new? Like what do you need to do? So set yourself a goal and then make some priorities just to help keep yourself focused. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with us today, and just an encouragement that, you know, like there's definitely things, even if we haven't reached the goal or what we wanted to achieve, there's always things to celebrate, always things to look at and say like, well done, I've done a really great job. But yeah, we're going to switch lanes for just a quick minute, and I have a special guest on today. I hinted at that at the beginning. Last year I came across this course. It piqued my interest. It was an opportunity for me to take Mum with a Side Hustle and figure out how I would make that a business and serve other mums like me, like mums who desire to win in business and motherhood. And so, yeah, today we're going to meet the course creator. She's here on the call, Pam, and we're going to learn more about her course. It's called the Idea Cooker. Well, so lovely to have you here, Pam. You've been here the whole time, secretly.
Or not so
Welcome.
secretly.
So, Pam, do you mind just telling us a little bit about your course and like who it's for?
Sure. And just a disclaimer, if you hear some hollering going on in the background, my little one's woken up early and my husband's about to come home to give her a cuddle. And also, I'm a wee bit fluey, so if I sound a bit funky, that's why. Um, so the question was,
Tell
sorry.
us about your course and who it's for.
Cool. So my course is called The Idea Cooker. I started the Idea Cooker. I really wanted to start like a full-blown business accelerator to help people, like early stage entrepreneurs that are working on something innovative. So, they're not just copying an existing business model, but they're wanting to try do things a little bit differently. And I guess another thing I'll say about innovation is that sometimes we think it means like you have to invent a new technology or something. But actually, innovation's a lot simpler than that. Like even someone like Lisa, like I'm sure there's things you're doing in your business that are different to the way that other people run, say, peanut butter businesses, for example. And so like so many of us are innovating in different ways. So, but yeah, when you're innovating, you're having to pave a new trail, and figuring out what is the right track to go down with my business, I think is one of the tricky things that people have to navigate. And I started the Idea Cooker because I was blessed to get to have some experiences early in my career where I got to do a business accelerator and learn how to start a product idea I had from scratch and take it to market. We didn't quite get to market. It failed early, but it was good because we could have wasted a lot more time. Hey, Missy. Um, if we hadn't, had the input that we did, we probably would have tried to bring something to the market that just actually needed to die a death. um, so that's actually one great outcome is if you realize, oh, this thing's actually not going to work, and it's better that I find that out now than spend 2 years working on it and end up, wasting a lot of time and money. But I'll let you go with data, please. Yes. So anyway, the Idea Cooker is basically looking at how do I learn about what my customers really need? What are the problems, the biggest problems that they're facing that I can actually answer or solve within my business model? And so you have to be quite creative about how to get those answers out of people because, like for example, peanut butter, you might think, how does that solve a problem that someone has? But actually, it's about how you frame those questions to learn about maybe I'm looking at the problems around where they buy it from or the quantity that they're buying or that, and so you're kind of trying to expand the questions you're asking to look at different angles to see what are the opportunities to innovate that my competitors haven't picked up on. Sorry, Lisa, for using you as an example. I know it's kind of an interesting example. Yeah, so that's the Idea Cooker. And then the idea is that at the end of it, people will have a very clear path to market. So they'll know this is the core solution that is actually the most innovative and effective way of marketing or creating a product or service. Sorry, I've got so many little people distracting me now. Yeah, so I don't know, I might not fully answer the questions. It's who it's for is basically early stage entrepreneurs. So either you've got an idea brewing, it could be for a product or service, or even something that's more like a not-for-profit or a social enterprise. The core of it is that it needs to be serving people in some way. And yeah, I think that the whole thing is learning about people's needs, what are the problems that really need to be solved and how do I make sure that the product I'm creating is something that solves a significant problem for people. And so it could be an existing business where you're like, I'm actually really struggling to sell the product I have. So I want to learn more about the market and maybe I'm going after the wrong market. And so actually figuring out who are the sorts of customers that will really resonate with the product or service that I have and giving people tools to actually learn how do I figure that out.
Yeah, and like for me, like it was so, I know now I hear it, it seems so basic, but I didn't know how to do any of that. And I didn't even know that it was important. So it's
Mm.
almost like, like these mums have been working on building a personal brand in 8 weeks. I feel like your course also sits alongside something like that. Like it's such a core foundation for starting anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And it is really overlooked. People think just because they've got a great idea, surely there's a market out there waiting for it, and they don't realize until you get there. And like I'm sure even the ladies on this call can probably resonate with the fact that, they've created something now. It's like, oh, wait a minute, where do I actually find the customers now? And it's a lot of trial and error. And so we really want to fast track that process because otherwise a lot of businesses die in the process of that. They run out of money, there's no cash flow, and they can't actually figure out who their market is cheaply enough to get there. So
So,
that's really what. So my goal in doing it is like I actually want to see business people succeed, especially like we're particularly looking at the kingdom business space, but I think that's a very broad term for whether it's a driving factor behind what you're doing is I mean, the businesses that we worked with last time, we had lots of people in like doing things around the therapy space. We had people creating communities. We had people, all sorts of things that, are not like I think we struggle with this concept of kingdom business because we often think it's got to be like for a church or it's got to be something that's, evangelical or something like that. But actually, it doesn't. I think it's really looking at what are the values that underpin it. And so yeah, it can be a lot broader than that. But that's really ideally, I love working with people that have something that has a degree of impact involved.
yeah, and I think like passion as well, right? And I'm also thinking about like like I'm thinking about the mums who are in Mum with a Side Hustle Facebook group. A lot of mums seem drawn to two sort of categories of business. One is network marketing quite strongly because it's a business built for you. But
Yeah,
the second one I notice is a lot of creators, whether they're creating with their hands or they're creating artwork or they're doing, well, it's all with your hands really, but like there's some beautiful stuff I've seen on our group, a woman who makes beautiful dolls. And a lot of people sell their stuff at markets, but I mean, I'm personally passionate. Like, how can we take the things we love to make, the things we're obviously passionate about, and really squeeze the best out of them? Like, I just think it's not enough to sell one item for this much money that took me this long to make.
yeah,
Like it's not scalable. It's going to do is maybe give me some joy to make it. And as long as I don't have to make it thousands of times the same thing and then I lose the joy for it. And it might help supplement a little bit of income. But once the kids are back at school, if your goal is to, earn enough money to be able to stay at home, that kind of business just isn't going to cut it. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
And so
yeah,
like I'm really passionate. Like if I can figure out the business space, and I want to help other mums figure out the business space so that their businesses become scalable. And I guess that's what
yeah.
I've been leaning and learning into building a brand, because I think that that is part of this. But like, how would the idea cooker help someone with a business idea that was very, what do they call it, like brick and mortar? How would that help them think about it in a bigger way so that it could be more scalable?
Yeah, I think that's the part that I love the most, and it's probably my strength in terms of when I look at my career kind of history, is taking something that's been very much physical exchange, actually looking at how do you actually scale something like that and automate parts of it and use technology and things to scale the impact and to scale the income. Um, and so yeah, that's something that I love to do. So I'll definitely challenge people in the program to be thinking differently about what they create, and looking. I think often we just get stuck in a mindset, and sometimes you just need outside input. And it's a really cool thing about doing it in the group too, because you get input from the whole group of people in the cohort that are doing it with you. So usually we do it with around sort of 10 to 15 businesses. And because they're all at the same stage, there's a lot of like encouragement that happens in the group, similar to this sort of environment where we all get to learn from each other. So there's definitely space for that, but it's ultimately about going out there and learning about who your customers are and what do they want. And then from those results, where are the, like, this is what I teach people is how do you actually discover inside those results where the opportunities are?
Yeah, awesome.
And so it's actually changing the way that you think, and I think that's the core thing is like, how do I think innovatively? Like, it's almost like I have to try and get, because I just live in that world because I've been in the space for so long. It's like, how do I get like all that happens in my brain, like give it to you so that you can learn how to think like an innovator. But that's ultimately what I think a lot of people come off the back of it with, just a different mindset.
And I know at the end of the course, I didn't even know this was part of it, but we did a pitch to investors, more just to get their feedback on like, what the process we'd been through and what we'd discovered. But like, why did you include that in the course? Like, why did you include pitching as part of the idea cooker?
A few reasons. I think pitching is a great way that actually forces you to have to bring a full understanding of every aspect of your business model. Sometimes we get so fixated on just product or, a certain part of our business. But when you have to pitch the whole thing, it's like investors want to see how does your revenue model work? Do things balance up when you look at your costs and have you thought about your marketing channels? Have you thought about, so they really what sets you apart from competitors? Why can someone else not get into this market so easily if you start this thing? There's all these questions that you may not have thought of that it really forces you to have to answer all of that. And I think it builds confidence. It gives the founders a way to get their business out there. So you get a greater audience. You might be looking for co-founders. You might be looking to bring people with certain skills onto your team, or even find people that are within a safe community that you connect with that you want to employ, even just an assistant, or you want to employ someone with a particular skill set that you don't have. Like you get yourself out there to find those sorts of people as well. So it is a great way to showcase what you're doing and attract the right talent, the right sort of feedback, potential partnerships. And then with these investors, for people that do want to raise money, that's an opportunity to have a follow-up conversation. So they can actually go back to them. And often those investors will say, hey, I know someone who's in the space that you're in. They're doing this. Can I connect you with them? And they often have lots of other investors in their network that may be interested in the space that you're in as well. So that's an awesome opportunity for referrals to people that can actually fund and really accelerate your time to market or, your whole journey. So,
Thank you so much, Pam. Thank you for making it available to our mums because I know that there's mums who've joined this group with ideas and dreams of what they want to do, but they need some pathways. And I think what you've created is an incredible first pathway. So you've got a special offer for everyone today, something free that they can grab hold of. So what is that?
Yeah, so to get people started, I've created a free course. It's just 5 sessions. It's only 6 minutes a session, so it's really jam-packed, and you can tell when you're watching it that it's scripted. But I had to script it to just condense it down to give you guys as much value without you having to spend a whole hour listening to me go off on every tangent. But basically what it breaks down is the core things that you need to know as an entrepreneur who's, setting out to build something new. So it looks at things like, where do ideas come from? How do I test my idea? Even what is kingdom entrepreneurship? What is innovation? How do I apply those things in my business? And then looking at things like, how do I fund it? And not just looking at bringing on investors, but what are some creative ways of funding my business? So I go through that. I look at if you need co-founders, how do you find them? I've got a worksheet for people to go through. There's lots of little nuggets within it, and then it gives you a bit of a deeper understanding of what the Idea Cooker is all about. So the last session is just focused on what you'll actually learn and what you'll get out of it if you do want to do it. So yeah, so 5 little short sessions to
Well
give you guys
done.
an overview of that. So that's all. Alicia will probably put the link out for you guys, but it's all on one page. It tells you what the Idea Cooker is. You can sign up to get this free. It's called the Idea Cooker Starter Kit. So you can sign up to get the starter kit for free. That'll basically, all you do is put in your email, you go straight through and you'll get the whole set of recordings to just go through in your own time. And from there, you can also sign up. It's an application process for the Idea Cooker. So we get people to apply because we don't want to be bringing someone on. We don't want to capture, a payment at the beginning if we realize you're not the best fit for this program. We actually only want to be bringing people in that we know are going to get real value out of it. So that's why we've created a very, very simple application process up front, just so that we can get to know you and then invite you to pay and sign up for the program. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And you've created a Facebook page. So what is that? And also maybe just share how people can get in touch with you. I will put the links in the video description, and there is a post coming out on Mum with the Side Hustle Facebook page. So, but yeah, what's your Facebook page and how can people get in touch with you?
Cool. The Facebook page is called The Dream Academy. And the Idea Cooker is one of the courses that we'll be running as part of the Dream Academy. There's going to be heaps more content coming on there in future in this whole space of kingdom entrepreneurship, particularly for early stage startups. But the Idea Cooker is the first one, so you can find all the info about it on that page. So we'll share that. And yeah, if you do want to sign up, the next intake is going to be starting on the 31st of March.
Cool.
So the end of this month. So it's only a few weeks away. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. It means that if someone's interested, they can jump in. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pam. And like I said, there'll be a post out soon on the Mum with a Side Hustle Facebook page. I'll do it on my personal page and we'll link it in the YouTube video. But yeah, thank you so much. And I do want to just finish off by reminding us all that you have a superpower because of the season that you are in. When we face limits in life, these are invitations into transforming ourselves into someone even greater. So don't see the limits of motherhood as restrictions. They are transformations. They are invitations into transformation. So you know what, we have to figure out how to build our dreams in this season. But I truly believe that you're going to be a better mum when you follow these small ideas and actually lean into your passions and do the things that light you up. It doesn't have to be much, and sometimes we've got to educate other people around us to how to help us, get to do some of the things that are on our hearts, and why our dreams matter. But one day I know that they're going to turn around and say, man, you've been such a blessing to me because of the person you are, because you didn't give up and because you pursued something that mattered to you. So, Mum, I want to say, whatever you're facing, whether in your parenting, your business, your relationships, let's be women who see the challenges and rise. So thank you for being here. Before you go, please drop a comment, say I made it to the end. And please leave a comment on what is one action you're going to take from this week. What's one action that you're going to take? So thank you for being here. Bless you guys, and we will see you. Actually, I want to say we're going to take a 2-week break. So we won't be here the next 2 weeks, and we'll start again in a fortnight and after 2 weeks. I'll put a post out. But yeah, lovely to have you guys all here, and bless you, and see you later. Bye.